Hello, everyone. Welcome once again, Chef Viviane. I'm here today to show simple canopy that you can make in a few minutes at home using few steps. Today is just simple. I want to keep it simple. So I will start. This canopy is I'm using egg yolk for this appetizer or canopy. You can prepare it also when you have guests, invitees to your dinner, and you can make that wow canopy to impress your guests. So let me start by showing you. So it is so easy. It's using egg yolks. So I will start by splitting the egg yolks because I'm using only the egg yolk for this canopy. So I start just by breaking the egg yolk. But before then, I have to fill this plastic. You can use also a tray, a small tray or a tray pan if you have one at home. You can also use a deep plastic like this. And you fill it first with the breadcrumbs because it is I want to cover the egg yolk with the breadcrumbs, and then later I'll have to deep fry it to give it that crunch from outside and still a flowing egg yolk from inside. So first of all, I fill this plastic pot with some breadcrumbs. Then to make it easy, it's just a technique that I always use, but you don't have to use it. But it gives you an idea where you are going to drop your egg yolk. So, but make sure you don't drop the egg yolk too deep that you are seeing the container like this, or the plastic, or the tray pan, or whatever you are using for this recipe. So make sure it is just a little hole like this, you see, and stop, because the hole from under, the breadcrumbs from under, we have to seal the egg yolk again. So that is why you don't have to allow to see the plastic. So I will still do just here that you can see just a little hole. So I make another little holes. So I have here about 4 holes, but I'm just going to make 3 holes. So let me put it that way, 3 holes. So now I will start by breaking or separating the eggs. So I already broken the eggs. Then I'm not using the egg white. So I remove the egg white, and then I drop the egg yolk to that hole I made. You see, it's so simple when you make a little hole. So the egg yolk is falling into that hole, and later I will cover it with cover the top with breadcrumbs again. So you have to be careful because the egg yolk should not have any leakage, because you want to seal the egg yolk. So you just have to be careful. That is the only thing you have to do when you are separating the egg yolk. Sometimes it's difficult. You see, there's here a little bit of egg yolk, egg shell that is there. You have to try to remove it. So if the egg is broken, you cannot use it. So make sure when you drop it, the egg yolk is still round. It still have that fairy shape. So there is no leakage in the egg yolk. That is when you will achieve the best result. So I have separated the egg white from the egg yolks. Let me remove my. So I'm going to deep fry the egg yolk, but so I will start by warming up my oil. Okay, I will start by warming up the oil. But wait, before you start anything, I have seen a lot of videos where people show how to bake this egg yolk and make a crispy egg yolk and running make a crispy egg yolk from outside and running from inside. But it is not done the way you see it on the films, like just pouring the egg and the breadcrumbs on the egg yolk and then you bake it. No, if you do it that way, you have almost 95% that the egg yolk will explode, because the egg yolks have to have a coolness and it has to be sealed from outside before you can achieve that crispiness. You have at least 1 minute or more to bake the egg yolk in the oil to have that crispiness from outside and seal the egg yolk. That is why I'm going to cover the egg yolk first with some crumbs, some breadcrumbs entirely. You have to cover it entirely with some breadcrumbs. It's like burying the egg yolk in the breadcrumbs. And this, you have to put it in your deep freezer for at least 1.5 to 2 hours before you can achieve that crispiness without exploding your egg yolks. So that is a trick. I see a lot of people just showing it very fast on social media, and people just try it and they say, "Oh, I tried it and my egg yolk exploded. How does that work?" It is not true. It's what you should. But yes, because you don't see the whole details when people are showing reels. So that is why I took my time to demonstrate how this really works. So I'm going to show you. I have already made a preparation before this time. So 1 hour ago, I already separated the egg yolk to show you in this episode. So I'm going to bring it out from my deep freezer. Why I'm going to put this into the deep freezer for at least 2 hours to have a rest. Okay, here is the egg yolks already prepared in advance to show you in this episode. So I wait for my oil to warm up. Your oil should warm up at least to 160 degrees, 150 to 160 degrees Celsius. You don't want it to get too warm. You don't want the oil also to get too warm, so that it will have a little bit of time to seal the egg yolk. And you don't also want your oil to be too cold, so that it will not take too long for the egg yolk to seal from outside to be crispy. So that is why the temperature is very important also. If you are using, of course, a pan or a frying pan, a pan like what I'm using now, it is important that you measure your temperature. But if you are using like a frying kettle, you always have your temperature regulated by your frying kettle. So you don't really need to check the temperature like when you are using like a frying pan, like what I'm using here. So some waiting is still a bit. So welcome once again, everyone. Welcome once again to our channel. Thank you for tuning on to this live streaming once again. Our aim here is to teach you or to show you what we do here in our kitchen. We love cooking. Cooking is our job. It's our hobby, and it's what we do. We love doing what we do here. So hope to stay tuned, share with your friends and family or to whom it may be useful. Thank you once again. So it's a little bit more. So the aim here is not to fry it too hot and also not too cold because we want to seal the egg yolk from outside and still have a runny yolk from inside. Make it crispy from outside and running from inside. Not there yet. It's almost. So let me show you. So this is the result of the egg yolk. You see how round it is in the round shape, and it's sealed with the breadcrumbs. So I just did this about 1 hour and a half ago. So now I have achieved the temperature. So I drop my egg yolk on, you see, and I start baking. So it's not too warm and it's not too cold. And this will take about 1 minute or 1 minute and a half. You will see that it seals immediately, and you will see that the crunch, it seals and the crunch has begun to be crispy. And then you will remove it from the heat. So you have to be careful. You have to allow it to seal, because if it doesn't seal, when you bring it out, it will explode or it will open. So it takes about 1 minute to 1.5 minutes, depending on how hot the oil is. You see that it's not there yet. I have to bring my timer so that I can check. I can be watching how long it takes. Because if it's too long, the oil, the eggs will no more be flowing from inside. You see, I think it's just some few seconds short. So that is perfect. Good from temperature, and I mean, So this we go faster. So it's sealing the outside of the eggs just by using the breadcrumbs. It seals the outside and it's still running. The egg yolk is still flowing. You see the oil is getting warmer now. So now you have to be careful. But it takes around 1 minute, and when the 1 minute and 30 seconds, but when the oil is hotter, it then takes around 1 minute and maybe 10 seconds. And sometimes you will also know that it's ready when you have a kind of floating, like it's beginning to float. You see, it's like beginning to float. You have like as if it will flow. You see, it's still soft, but it's crunchy. But I still give it like some 5 seconds to seal properly. Okay, now it's ready. This is so easy to make at home. I mean, for ex lovers, you make everybody wow. You know, you give that feeling to the table, and I will show you how to serve it to your guests or to your friends, to your family. If you are that type who like to, and wow people with your little tricks in the kitchen, I am sure this one will surely, brings that delicious and feeling to your table. Try it and let me know. So it takes about 1.5 minutes maximum to have that sealing, because if it goes more than that, it takes 4 minutes entirely to seal. So So you will know that the eggs have been sealed when you see that little punch so on top. So let me show you. You see this takes still like 10 seconds and the eggs will be okay. The egg yolk will be okay. Look, when it has like as if it's beginning to float on in the oil, you know that it's ready. You see, so bring it to the plate. So and switch off my heat. Let me clean my table a bit, then I can show you. It is so simple. There is nothing so difficult, but I bet you will make your guests wow. Serving this to your guests. I'm using here some what do you call it? Some leek sprouts. That is a microgreens from leek. So it is very delicious with the egg yolk. But you can use any microgreen that you have in your shop. It doesn't really have to be leek, but the microgreens have that special freshness and taste to the egg yolk. And then I will use some colors to give a tint to the microgreen, to the egg yolk and to the other microgreen. You see, when you add a little bit of other colorful microgreens, you make it more colorful, and so simple is that. So now I plate. I add the microgreens to the appetizer plate, and then I just place the egg yolk on top of the microgreens. Okay, so put it upwards on top of the microgreens. So it is as simple as that. And then I'm going to finish up with grated parmesan, because this gives a kind of malty and umami feeling and taste to the egg yolk. And it's just wow. If you want, you can add just a little bit of pepper using your grinder, your pepper grinder. Just add a bit of pepper. It's not needed. You can even eat it without pepper, but you add some pepper. And then I finish up with grated Parmesan cheese. You can also use other types of cheese for this, but I'm using here old Parmesan cheese. So I just grate the Parmesan cheese on top of the egg yolk. You can also use Gouda cheese or any cheese of your type, of your choice, that you can grate. A hard cheese, I mean. So that is my lesson for today. So simple is the yolk in a breadcrumb that has been deep fried, served with microgreens and a top of grated Parmesan cheese. But don't go anywhere, because I'm going to show you how it looks from inside. And I am sure you are going to wow every guest that you serve this to. I bet you. Try it. You know, cooking is one of those things that bring joy to every table. And if you can serve this to your guests, I think everybody will love it. And it is a very, very, very delicious start and beginning. So let me show you what I mean. Look at that. So that is the explosion, and with the taste of the Parmesan and that microgreen, it is just wow. So look at that. Thank you once again, everyone, for joining us on this live streaming. Cooking is my job, my hobby, my passion, and my aim here is just to share my knowledge and love about food with you. Hope you like, subscribe, and share with your friends and family. And see you in the next episode. Ciao, Chef Viviane. Bye, everyone. Love you. Bye, everyone. Bye.